on the international issues, and it would not be fair on our viewers, majority of whom are Kashmiris background, not to tackle the current situations that are affecting our brothers and sisters in the Kashmir regions. Anthony, we the British pride ourselves and pat ourselves on the back as the champions of human rights and democracy around the globe. Anthony, can I ask you a very bold question? What has the government done, this government, what has it done to help the Kashmiris in the Indian-occupied, especially in the India-occupied Kashmir region, who are undergoing huge and heartbreaking human rights violations on daily basis, with girls, mothers, children, rape, pillage, all sorts of violence. If this was happening to one person, even one person in Burnley, you'll be up in arms. It is happening to dozens and dozens of people every single day, Anthony. Could I ask you why, as the champions of human rights throughout the world, why do we not even see what's happening in Kashmir? Why do we have myopia? Why do we have this blindness, a blind spot towards the Kashmiris?
So I don't think we do have a blind spot to the Kashmiris. In fact, it is one of the international issues that certainly dominates the parliamentary agenda that I see. And, often people focus on what's going on in the House of Commons chamber, but actually some of the really important work that Parliament does is in committees and the groups of MPs and what we do behind the scenes. So I'm a member of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Kashmir, and that's a really important way for Parliament to get an update from all the different stakeholders. So, we actually hear on the ground what's going on, because that helps to engage us as MPs, but it also means that when we go and speak to government, we have some knowledge of what's going on the ground. And I think, the government's job is to make sure we are that voice for respect for human rights, for decency, standing up for the values that we care about, and making clear to the countries involved, particularly India, what our views are and how we think they need to go and address the awful human rights abuses that are currently taking place. From March, we went into what we've termed a national lockdown, and we found that incredibly difficult for the couple of months that we've had to live with it for. I think if the world could see what the Kashmiris are having to go through, that's not a lockdown of 2 or 3 months. This is a prolonged period. So actually, shining light on it, and I think programs like this are so important, being able to be that community voice, because the more we can talk about it, not just in Parliament, but across the country, the more the pressure builds. And I think, the one thing that all countries around the world want is a positive public perception. And with the British government very clearly saying that what is happening in Kashmir is unacceptable, the more countries that come out and do that, the greater that pressure is that, might just be the thing that brings them back into the international community to do the right thing. Because it's clear that what is happening at the minute is not the right thing.